What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. And today we're going to be talking about a subject that I've been thinking about for quite a while. And I feel like now I've got my thoughts together enough on this one to make a video on it. So, we talk a lot about the life of the pistol in this 1911 world and how to make the pistol last longer. And the reality is, man, if it's a modern forged 1911, they last quite a long time. However, me personally, I'm not made of money. I don't know if you guys are, but I want to try to stretch out the life of all my stuff as long as I can. And just like anything with your vehicle, with your house, what's the key to extending the life of anything? It's maintenance, right? The more maintenance, the more care you put into anything, the longer they last. So today I'm going to give you what are, in my opinion, the top 5 best ways to extend the life of your pistol. Now, when I say extend the life, we're not talking like, if you don't do these, your pistol's going to break next year. We're talking by the measurement of tens of thousands of rounds. You're going to have to really live with this gun for decades to see the difference in what I'm talking about. Now, me personally, I have seen some of these effects. I've got to hold and shoot, and I have owned some very old guns. And man, you can see the difference in a gun that was really maintained well and those that were not. There is evidence that you can find on those guns. As usual, there's always the small group outside with their picket signs who show up in the comments and want to tell me, who cares? I've done it this way for 97 years. And listen, guys, we can disagree. We don't have to be enemies. So this is my mileage. It's my opinion, a little bit of my experience. So take it for what you will. Oh, you guys knew this was coming. Springs. Change your springs all the time. Like too much. Yes, I am telling you to change your springs too much. I don't care if your grandpappy's 1911's got the same spring in it from before dinosaurs were discovered. I just don't care, okay? Here's the deal. Healthy springs reduce the impact of recoil on your pistol. That is a fact. That is an absolute, undeniable fact. We can say all day long that our pistols have been fine up until now, or we have an example of one that's lasted a long time without that. But to deny that good springs are going to reduce the impact on your pistol is just denying physics altogether. And let me give you a good example. Let's say that you got a really old truck and the shocks were just wore out to where every time you hit a speed bump in the grocery store parking lot, your truck bottoms out. And somebody comes up and says, man, you need new shocks. Like they're wore out. You go, I've had these same shocks in since 1968. Who cares? This truck's still running. Okay, man. But everybody looks at you like you're crazy because legit, that's bad for your vehicle. And we can all agree. You shouldn't be bottoming out your vehicle, right? That those shocks need to be doing their job. Same thing with any suspension part on your vehicle. They are there to keep the vehicle from self-destructing during its use. The recoil spring on your pistol is no different. It's not just there to return the slide to battery and feed the next round. It is there to absorb some recoil and reduce some of the wear on your gun. Now, how often do we change the recoil springs? That's the obvious next question. It depends on how much you shoot, right? I've got some guns, my Springfield Armory 1911, where it's been in there for, I don't even know how many years. But I don't shoot that gun really ever, right? So for me, I try to keep up with the recoil springs somewhere around every 3,000 rounds. Probably even less. But really, at the end of the day, what I like to do is just push down on the barrel hood and, just kind of feel, how does the action feel? That lockup should feel really tight. Push down on the barrel hood, check the lockup on the barrel. It should be nice and tight. If it feels really loose, then just change the spring. Don't get sentimental about consumables. And that's what a spring is. It's a consumable. It's like brake pads on your car. I don't know anybody that saves their brake pads because one day they might have to pull out of that mountain of brake pads they've been saving for 20 years and pull out a brake pad. Save one or two, I get it. But at the end of the day, guys, springs are cheap, and it's a great way to increase the life of your pistol. Number 2, snap caps. You should be dry firing your pistol every single day and constantly. It's good training. I personally always have in all my pistols at all times a snap cap in the chamber For one, it makes it really obvious to me that that is not brass, right? I can see what's in the chamber, and also, as I dry fire, it reduces the wear on my pistol, on my firing pin specifically. You can break firing pins from dry fire. I prefer A-Zoom. I've been using these for a lot of years, and they're great. So I usually just load one up in the mag, throw it in, and you can dry fire the gun without consequence. Number 3, here's a novel thought. Clean your gun. I don't know where this came from, but there is this tough guy, cool bro, tactical turtleneck, Velcro, high speed, low drag idea that not cleaning your guns makes you just like leather jacket in high school Fonzie status cool. It doesn't. This is no different for me from some dude walking around bragging about how his truck has 200,000 miles on it and he's never changed the oil. I would look at that guy like an absolute insane person. That person is on par with the guy in the bread aisle getting in a fist fight with the Cheerios, okay? They're crazy. That's insane. On top of that, guys, here's a sidebar. This is a piece of life-saving equipment. Do you think anybody's that lackadaisical with maybe packing a parachute or checking a scuba tank? No, that's life-saving equipment. You don't get lackadaisical about life-saving equipment. Take care of your stuff. But more to the point, when you run your guns dirty, you're running them harder. But it does wear them faster when they're dirty. It is a fact. Every piece of steel machinery likes one thing, and that is oil. Let's just play a fun little exercise. Go drain the oil out of your rear differential in your vehicle and see how far you get. Now, the example to the pistol is far less extreme than that, but the principle's there. Run your gun without oil and run it dirty. You're going to see your finish disappear. You're going to see metal disappear. Oil helps these guns live longer. And I want to add clean oil. Make sure you clean these guns. Number 4. Now, this one is something that if you shoot legit high volume, I think is a smart idea, especially if it's a gun like my Colt here, where I really don't want to thrash this gun up. Now, my TSOS, however, I don't care. These things are, they're beaters. I run them pretty hard, even though I still clean them and change the springs. But the Colt, there's certain guns that I want to take it a little bit easier on. And here's something that is definitely easier on your gun, and that is shooting lighter bullets. 230 grain ball at normal pressure, it's not like it's hurting the gun. But I will say, and this is something that Ken Hackathorn has talked about, he says running slightly lighter ball ammo, not low pressure, but literally just lighter bullets, is easier on you and it's easier on the gun. We should listen to guys like Ken Hackathorn. He's been doing this a long time, and he's probably shot more than all of us combined. And he talked about in a recent video with Eli Duckworth where he has problems with his hands from shooting just full pressure 230 grain ball later in his life. And so now he does try to shoot some lighter grain bullets. Now, for me, I will drop down to 200 grain in my hand loads. I don't want to have like a quote-unquote low recoil bullet, but if I can just shave off some of that real sharp slap in the pistol, I do think it's worthwhile, especially on the guns that you really want to take care of. And I'll say this is especially true if you guys out there have vintage 1911s. Run lighter ammo. And no, shock buffs are not a solution. And number 5 is use good ammunition. Now, what I'm not saying is be one of these snobs who it's like, I only shoot Prime and Black Hills. Like, stop. Don't be that guy. That's annoying. What I'm saying is don't use absolute bottom of the barrel ammo. And a few examples of that are, 1, corrosive ammo. A lot of this like weird oil-coated Russian stuff, I don't even know how common that is anymore, but every once in a while you see it for sale or floating around. Don't use that. It's not good for your bore. It's not good for your chamber. Man, that stuff, it's just not good. Don't use corrosive ammo. Another good example of that would be steel cased. That stuff is hard on your chamber. It's hard on your feed ramp. It's hard on your feed lips on your magazine. It's hard on the ejector. It's hard on the extractor. I'm just not a fan of steel cased ammo. You got to be careful with lead. It has this effect when it's not properly hardened and treated, and then it's put in a higher pressure cartridge, it's going to leave lead fouling in your barrel, and it just jacks your gun up. And you might think, man, who does that? I know people who do that. And you look down their bore, and it looks terrible. It looks really bad. So, in my opinion, I know a lot of people shoot lead. Just make sure, man, that lead is properly treated. You're paying attention to the pressures. You're not going too high pressure to where you're going to get lead fouling in the barrel. But overall, use good ammo. Just use good ammo. That is going to increase the life of your gun quite a lot when you don't have a bunch of weird foreign oils and corrosive crap and steels and leads, and it's just way better for the gun in the long run, especially at volume. So those are my big 5 on how to make your 1911 last long life. Other than that, man, they're a rugged gun. You don't have to baby them. I hope you don't hear that in any of these recommendations I'm making. These are just the ones that I think are important in the long run to keep these guns running reliably and give them long life. So hope that was helpful to you. I look forward to seeing your comments, and as usual, I appreciate you being here.